record. Alrighty. Participants. So Tyler, you'll be the first one. You should be seeing your screen now on in PDF.
Yep.
Do my slope for my ramps look right? Did I do the swale correctly? Are there supposed to be two centerline slope? And then how do I find where the contours hit my ramp? Okay, let's look at the ramp first, and because it's a new requirement, and the divergence swale. So it seems like you are at a irregular slope in terms of the contour spacing between different contours. Sometimes you have 5%, sometimes you have higher ones. Is this a landing by any chance? Are
No,
landing?
so I actually connected the contours first, and then I put all the spot
Oh,
elevations in. So they're not correct. Where they I know that where the contours cross are not correct. I think the slope labels and the spot elevations I think should be relatively accurate, but uh I'm not sure really about the contours.
so for this one, you should start grading the ramp separately based on the top ramp elevation and the bottom ramp elevation. So what you could do is, again, there are multiple ways of doing this, but you wouldn't let your original contour design determine your ramp design at this point. It should be the other way. I'm looking for my my daughter took my pencil away. Ah, sorry, folks. I'll need to go scream at her. Okay, I found it. Oh my gosh, that's recorded. That's fine. All right. So you would use the elevations here and at the top of the ramp, which we don't see yet, to determine an average slope of your ramp. That's one way to go. If it's below 5%, basically you can evenly space your contours out and say this is 4 point something percent all the way along. And then that becomes your way of determining the spacing. Once you get to here, you can have a little bit more freedom saying I can go below, they'll drop below 4% because this is a relatively flat area and I wanted this to relatively be, for instance, 2%. That's okay too. But that, eventually what your contours look like, they will be evenly spaced. And occasionally they can drop, they can change slope to a flatter slope. That's okay too. Right? So there's a recording from last Tuesday marked as ramp, and you should go check that one out. And I definitely don't have a one single way of doing this. This is a good the option that I just talked about is one of them. It's a good start. So aiming for a constantly sloped by measuring the length of your ramp by using the four key spot elevations would be one way to do it. Or you could start, the second option would be you start with the top of the ramp elevation. Again, it's off the scope of the screen now. And you just do 5%.
Yeah, that's what I did. I did 5% for most of the calculations, uh,
Yeah,
for
it's
the
most
spot
of
elevations
the
at least.
calculations, but not all of them, right? It's the most of the calculation. I would say, when would you change the slope? You would change it. You could have a flatter start. You could have a flatter, the landing area in the mid turning area. You could have flatter end, but I would not start changing things along the way. This way, you need so many, you know, um, changes in construction that are not that necessary. So you would try to aim for these to be even, and for that to be even at a 5% slope, and then now the bottom can be at a different slope. That's farther, or that one. So I would say, yeah, these three areas, that one, and that one could be different, but otherwise, all the other portions of the ramp, you should try to make them evenly, kind of at a uniform slope.
So are they not? So is it not correct how it is now, or like I know what the contours are. I know I can move. I know I need to move those. I didn't. I shouldn't have even rushed to turn those off
So
because
what you
I know
have,
those weren't right.
what you
What?
have as of now, these are not evenly.
No, no. Yeah, like I'm talking about like the sorry. I'm talking about the spot elevations and stuff. Um,
The spot elevations, I'm not sure what you meant. Which spots you meant?
the on the ramp, just on the like the.
On the ramp, you would need spots around this because you have top.
Oh right, yeah, yeah. The
Yep.
what's it called?
You would have spots at the bottom, and you would have spots wherever your slope started to change. But if you
Mhm,
design for them to be evenly distributed, then you don't have to have spots because these are straight lines and without tangent points.
mhm,
Okay, unless you're changing a material somewhere, which you would need to indicate as well.
mhm.
So okay, so that's about this ramp. And if I move forward to the other question about the divergence swell, so right now you don't necessarily have a design for the divergence swell yet. You would need to design them out, and then with all that spots LP HP, then we would know whether or not they are correct. Okay, so no, the basic idea is correct. What I would recommend would be, yeah, let's make them even. Let's make them evenly, uniformly sloped. Would be what I 4 feet apart, and then you would have more space. You would have more space in this area to fit in. I think one of them is not connected right. Okay, yeah, the 112 is not correct.
Oh, wait.
The 1112 needs to go here to that one.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I
So
was talking about, like, the slope and the, like, like, how I have a 4% and then it goes to a 2, like,
that's
0.1%.
okay. No, that's
Okay.
okay. Yeah, if you have a difference, then you wouldn't mark it as LPS, but you would just
Oh,
mark.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it should just be HPS, I guess.
So by
Or
doing
wait, would it be HPS or would it just be, like, a spot elevation?
the HPS should be here.
So it would just be a spot elevation where it
That
changes.
one is HPS. This one is a spot where
Yeah, it's just a spot,
slope
okay,
changes. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so these ones, you design them, the same way as you design for other bioretention. So those, they need to be completed
Yeah.
with spots and HP and LP.
Mhm.
All right, so that's that part.
Could you go back real quick to see, er
So if we look at the ramp here, you have a top of a ramp, bottom of a ramp, and you have, okay, we're missing a few spots though. That spot needs to be there. That spot needs to be there. And then I think, yeah, I think you should find, well, this is marked in a different way than that one, and you should go back to using that instead for the other side. Make them consistent,
what do you
and
Oh, the angle you mean? Or
curve actually stops there.
wait, were you talking about the angle for that one? Or
Yeah, the slope arrow.
Okay, okay, okay.
Mm. Yeah,
But it's alright to say, like, 10% max,
yeah, that's fine.
and then
So the
8.33, is that
curve,
okay? The for the for the
well,
downhills? Or
they need to match.
I mean, like,
Well, that is
these
determined by this and this distance. So if they match, then that's okay.
what do oh, well, I found this point by going perpendicular to the, contour here, and then I didn't know what percent to use. I just used something that was in between, like, I liked the PDF, from last year, but I didn't know how to calculate that, so I just used, 8.33, and then I used that to find the top of the ramp.
So
So I don't know if
this
it's
is
right.
going to be helpful for everybody. How do I find TR? TR is determined by the plaza elevation. Basically, TR, you need to measure the distance to the that one, and that's how you know the elevation of TR. And this is 1108, so that needs to be above, below, yes, below 1108 at a 2% slope. Then you get, yeah, that's probably right. But you do need to measure if that's not how you measured it. Uh,
No, yeah, I didn't but then so, okay, if I do a so then would that mean that the ramp slope is gonna be 2% then? Or,
no. So
so this one's gonna be 2%?
no, because your ramp, the elevation difference is one curb and plus the 2% slope on the top of the curb. Okay, if the plaza, um, I'm drawing in cross section again. So this is your bottom of the ramp. This is your bottom of the ramp, which is determined by your drop off, and that is the 2% slope down to the TR, the top of the ramp. Okay. Yeah, I actually should put this one below. That's your BR. That is calculated based on the drop off. And that's a TR. So essentially, you need to calculate the TR based on the plaza, but then your ramp is actually like this. So that is how you calculate, saying that is come from the plaza. Oh, this is coming from the plaza elevation, that is coming from the drop-off elevation, the difference, and then divided by the distance that you measure from the CAD plan. That's how you get to the slope there, because it is not a regular curb ramp that you designed use a kind of the the standardized dimension.
Wait, so it's the TR minus the
BR
BR
divided by that length of,
divided by H, okay.
yeah.
And then wait, so that will give me the percent wait, don't I so multiplied by 100 then?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, so that is how you calculate that slope.
okay.
Um,
Picture real quick.
okay.
Okay.
Same thing with this one.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I can yeah, they're all going to be probably,
Right.
relatively similar. Um,
Yeah, they're all the same. Okay.
I think
Any other things that you, oh, one thing that you need to pay attention to is the side slope. We do want it to have a side slope instead of having just a,
oh, yeah, so when I draw across, it should be wait, what so should it just be at 'cause I drew it at a like, a perpendicular angle, so should I just
Yeah, you need to
how to
angle
draw
the
it.
contours on the ramp so it has a side slope.
Okay, and then you said Tuesday's recording had went over this more or
I'm sorry?
something? Did you say Tuesday's recording had went over the ramp
Yes.
again?
Yes.
Uh,
Last
okay.
Tuesday. The title of the URL has ramp.
Oh, okay, okay, I can look for
You
that. Okay.
specifically look for that one.
Okay.
Okay.
I
All right.
think that yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Sounds good. Well, thank you. Any other questions? Well, if we have time, we could also talk about.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Next, Grace. Hey, Grace.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. All right. It's going to be. Should the ramp to the left of the ADA spots lead directly to the plaza, or can it connect like it does here? You have an ADA ramp like that. Good. And then you have a yeah, and this one you also have to have a ramp as well.
Okay.
And
Oh, okay.
and then yeah, I just want to take a quick look at the overall plan first. How should I label ramp landings? Yeah, your ramp doesn't seem like it's long enough yet. So this one, I mean, this one needs to be longer. Doesn't seem like it's 20, it's 180 feet yet. 200 feet, sorry. um, 30 feet long with a, because you have 10 foot of a elevation difference to overcome. That's why you need a 200 feet long ramp at an average 5% slope. So again,
Okay.
yeah, I would recommend that you go back to Tuesday's recording. The first, lay out a 200 feet long ramp that connects your plaza to the backside of a plaza, and then separate. No, so now disregard all the contours on that ramp wherever. No, you should try to avoid for the ramp to overlap with your center line of your swell. So basically,
Okay.
you have your center line swell something like this, and you don't want your, well, if you want to design for it to have a crust, that's totally fine, and it actually can make it really fun, but realize that part of the ramp needs to be elevated over the swell and elevated over the rain garden at the end of the swell as well. So it's a complicated design, but it can be more interesting if you're willing to take on that. We wouldn't discourage that, but if you don't want to take that approach, we would want you to try to make your ramp away, make it not intersect, or at least the entrance of the ramp should not be located just on exactly on the center line. So that's that, because you don't want people to start walking where there could be ponding water. Um, yeah, you could use design to overcome that, but right now we do not encourage that challenge to be taken on.
Okay.
So yeah, so first lay out a 200 feet long ramp, and then lay out the contours just on the ramp using a 20 feet 5% spacing, incorporating a 2% side slope, and then try to connect your outside contour to that. So if this is how it was before, and then you might need to change it a little bit. For instance, drag it up a little bit so that you have enough space. So your other contours needs to adapt so that you can connect to the new ramp contours. Okay, but until you lay that out, we won't be able to evaluate or help you refine it. So that's that. We also need a ramp somewhere here. Okay. Well, okay, you had a ramp. I would not recommend this design because this limit that everybody needs to get off the bus right there, or they would need to stand on in the driveway, you know, then they need to wait until they can get to, if it's an ADA situation. So I would do the ramp. No, just something like that, to enable a lot of people would be able to be dropped off from a bus and then connect to your plaza. That's that. Your ADA ramp can be there, but for this one, we would recommend the second type of design where you have a flat area in the middle, and then you have basically this will be able to connect to, people would walk how that's the most space saving option. Yeah, I should lay it out. So if this is where people get off, then I would have that, and I would have this. So that is getting off. This, yeah, still prefer to use annotate. Getting off like that, and then getting off like this. Does that make sense? So it's going to be the ramp. People would come to the ramp like this, and in terms of slope, it would come down to, so that portion is connected to the parking lot, and this portion is connected to the plaza. So that will be your bottom of the ramp. This will be the top of the ramp. So this is the second type of curb ramp that Stuart showed. You should be able to find a example in that slide.
Okay.
Okay, so that's that. If I keep moving, some of the contours are not correct. In the parking lot, I know you kind of mark them out, but you cannot have these contours cross.
Oh, I think, sorry, I think I must have left an old layer on when I
Okay,
plotted because I'm realizing they don't look like that, or they didn't look like that on my last
right.
example. Yeah. I know that they're fixed on another version. I must have just not turned the layer off.
Sounds good. Okay, so that's that. And this contour needs to hit the wall. And what else? Use that one to correct this. Okay. Yeah, I think we still need to do the divergence swell. We still need to correct these contours. The contours here needs to be revised. Why is it not showing? Yeah, the contours here not correct. The divergence swell needs to show up. Not good. Yeah, basically this area needs to be redone based on last Tuesday's, I think it's Tuesday, Tuesday's lecture about the divergence swell. Okay. Other things that you want to talk about here?
I don't think anything now. I just have to fix my ramps. So
Yeah.
yeah.
5, this seems, the back side it's connecting well. So yeah, those are okay based on your FFEs. I am having trouble seeing, I think we are missing one contour as well. Did you by any chance turn off the layer? Turn off the correct contour layer?
Probably because I know that I fixed them for the last example. I think I just left the old one on. I
Yeah,
don't know. Yeah, that
there's a
was my mistake.
there's a contour missing here. And if that is the contour, you may actually have a contour right here.
Okay. Yeah, I think I just somehow turned the wrong layer off before I
Yeah, that's
exported it.
right. That's probably what happened. And so these contours needs to come back.
Yeah, because I know they're there on the last example. That was just my mistake. I'm not sure how I missed that.
Alrighty. So keep working on the ramp. Keep working on the divergence swell because next week you will need to move forward to all the other bioretention areas and basically everything else.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get started on that now.
Sounds good. Alrighty.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Actually, I just have a quick question about like I guess next week's submission. Um, so it besides like I guess completing all the bioretention areas, like after that, are those is that mainly it? Like those the last kind of things that I need before the final?
So next week we set everything else. It's basically we're not setting a limit to what you want to be reviewed,
Hmm.
but I would suppose that we would put a limit on every well the time for every student. We may review your drawing for 10, 12 minutes, and then probably talk about any specific questions first and then go over things that I noticed. At least that's what I would do. Anything that I noticed and fill up that 12 minutes so that we give everything we can give you within that time, and then that's probably it.
Okay.
So the further you can get to, the further, the more specific you can get to in terms of other calculations, slopes, labeling, even presentation, right? Even
Oh,
line weight and everything.
okay.
We may be able to help you.
Okay. Yeah. 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 I was just okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense though.
cool. Alrighty. Next I have 若愚. So we don't have the ramp yet. I'm not sure whether the ramp is correct. So the ramp is not graded yet. The site's current bioretention, especially the parking lot. Let's see. Well, Roy, are you here?
Yes, Professor, I'm here.
Okay. So the like I talked with other students. The ramp right now, the first thing that you need to make sure is that it's long enough, right? It needs to be long enough, and it needs to have an angle with the part with the um, your contours. So basically, having an angle means that my ramp, I am trying to achieve. No, along the ramp, I'm going down. But if my ramp is parallel to my contours, there's no there's no existing slope that will enable me to go down, which means I will run into difficulty trying to create that slope along the ramp, right? But if I have an angle of my ramp to the contours, it will be much easier for me because there was originally a slope along that ramp. Okay, so I would first use that principle saying let's have at least some angle, you know, for your contours for existing contours to intersect with the ramp direction. And the second one, I would also use basic principle of design, right? My ramp, I would not turn in such a small segment. Okay, I wouldn't make random turns for the ramp to get to 200 feet. Instead, I would think about the experience of the ramp. Okay, it needs to be flat. The turning, no, it's better if it's more smooth, and it's better if it can. I know we don't have any side features here, but you could compare, like, if I do this, then it's probably not a good experience as if I make it curve more naturally and make the transition less abrupt. Okay, so that's some of the design of the ramp. So what you need to do is, first you still need to change your layout, your plan view layout of your ramp for it to be 200 feet, for it to intersect with the contour at a reasonable angle, and for the experience to be not unpleasant. Okay, that's our minimal requirement. Then go back to look at the video. As I explained, lay out the contours. No, you can do 5% with a side slope, and then see how you connect the contours to the surrounding your original design of the contours. Okay. Yeah, we won't be able to draw it out for you. You'd have to go through that process. You have to have a draft for us to comment on and for us to help you change it to a better solution.
Okay.
Your stairs needs to be redesigned. Right now,
Okay.
they're not. Yeah, the stairs
Yeah.
and the ramp needs to be reworked. Um, yeah, this project, I'll be blunt to say that you need to do a little catch up as well. Okay, some of the, I know we talked about the divergence well not last time. I look into the curve cut being 110989. Okay, HP, those all seem correct. Yes, the HPs are okay. Okay, all right, those seem correct. And all your driveway, wherever there's a curb, you need to have TC and BC. Okay,
Okay.
wherever there's a curb, well, you don't need a spot, right, unless that's a tangent point. But all these you need a TC and a BC for your spot elevation. And you need to add the curb back to the base plan. So I'm gonna quickly check your retention design just to make sure you have the necessary curb cuts and outlets. So I would say you could design something along this line, so the driveway will drain to your green area here. I couldn't see if you have a CC or DI, but I will zoom in to see if you have the corner out. That seems to be an RBCDI. Yeah, that's correct. And then things are draining into your, yeah, I would put something in here as well. That definitely needs a curb cut. The ramp needs to be something like this. We need a ramp over here. If you have ADA, then you need some sort of, yeah, this needs to have a ramp. Okay, that's that. I'm trying, yeah, you would have retention design for that part as well. The curb cuts will be there, that's okay. Any other dead corners looking for? I'm gonna clear this portion, zoom back out. Yeah, you have a curb cut. You're missing one contours here. Missing one contours here. Come on. and that's the lowest point. And then you have a, well, let's try not to change direction of the swell line. If it's like this, then it's like this. Then yes, you have a bioretention in that area. That's good. Okay. I don't see any other glaring. Well, we talked about this contour needs to be like this.
Okay.
So that needs to be away from the dirty water. So the dirty water is over here. The dirty water is over here. That's where the clean water comes down the hill. Okay, so those are the drainage thing that you need to add back, but definitely work on the ramp first and the base map. Okay, base map and ramp and stairs. The 99 contour seems to, yeah, 99 seems okay. All right, keep working.
Yeah, I just
Anything
got
else?
one more question. So
Yeah.
just what if the 1108 contour line didn't touch the bus drop off?
What if the 1108 did not touch the bus drop off? I'm not sure.
Yes. Do I still need to draw that line?
That's a closed contour. You would have two.
Okay.
It doesn't touch. If it's right outside, it would go like this, right? That's your 808 for this portion, and then you have a closed contour there. Because your 109 is over here, it's going down. That's 50 feet, and that there is definitely an 08 over there.
Yeah, just so because it's a 50 feet for each contours, and so what is a red line in the most front of the bus drop off means? Is that 1109? No, it's 1108. Or okay,
So this is 9.
sorry.
That's 8. That's a closed contour of 8, and then you have another 8 up in your plaza. You would have two 8s.
Okay, so
So if you,
yeah,
yeah, that's the right situation. And then in other cases, if you don't have your 1108 on the plaza, you actually have this situation. But in fact, the distance exceeded 25 feet there, or exceeded 50 feet there. So this is the green one is not your scenario. Other people have that scenario. You would have two separate contours. One is closed in the parking lot, not parking lot, in the drop off. The other one is on the plaza. Okay, they're both 8, and you're not
okay,
able to go like that. Okay.
okay, fine. So just because after I finish the most basic one, the 9 and 8 between them is 50, and then the 8 just directly didn't touch the drop off, so I'm confused. Do I still need to join that line, the 8 one? So yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have an 8. It's just the 8 is a closed contour. The others, this portion runs along the curb.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, got it. No problem.
Okay, we'll move forward with Dave. David.
How are we doing today?
Hey, pretty good. I'm talking a lot these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get into this, did you see my email on Monday by chance?
Your email on Monday. I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh.
Don't worry about it. It was more about studio than stormwater, but I thought I'd ask.
Oh, I thought one of us got back to you, but we'll check. We'll
Sounds
double
good.
check.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So the example given on Canvas had text size approximately the same as my document, but should be 3. Da, 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 da. Well, basically, if it's 100%, yeah, it's a little small. Not sure how the text size on Canvas. Well, we would download Do you mean what they appear on Canvas instead of if we downloaded the PDF and graded the PDF? Or
The Canvas submission says that the text has to be at print scale at least 1/8 of an inch tall, which would be almost 4 feet on the document. And following that criteria, I'm not sure how it would fit without everything being a bubble blowout type thing.
so I think Nat will be the best person to go get clarification on this, because
Okay.
I'm not sure I am up to date about how the text size on Canvas. Yeah, the comment about it should be 3 times larger.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, it wasn't a comment that she put on mine. It was in the submission requirements. Whoever typed the assignment says that it has to be 1/8 of an inch tall,
Ah,
and I was just self-comparing to what mine currently is.
right. So let me make sure I understand the question. If
Sure.
it's something that the TAs and us will need to coordinate about, we will do that this afternoon. But let me get to the final submission here. Minimal 1 at print scale. Okay. Again, I'll have to direct you to Nat for this one. What I understand, this is not kind of in real, when we printed out at a we would print out at 1/30 scale, right? Which means the printout, if we print out the real size, actually on paper it will appear as 1/8 of an inch instead of 4 feet. Does that make sense? Did I lose everybody? Did I lose?
No, we're still here.
Yeah, David, it's probably didn't unmute.
I muted myself. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
I think my confusion comes from on 1/8 of an inch at 1 to 30 scale would be 3.75 feet tall on the text size on the document. And mine's at 1 1/4 right now, which is a third of the size. So to meet that requirement on the assignment, I'd have to, I'm not sure how that would realistically work.
Well, my understanding is when you print it on paper, if you directly measure it, it will be about 1/8 of an inch.
Yeah, I'm thinking what I'm trying to say is in order to reach that criteria, the text on the document would have to be significantly larger than it currently is.
If yours are about 1/4, then I would say it's about twice the size instead of many more times.
I'd have to increase it 3 times. Yeah. I printed off a little section and measured it already.
Well, if it's no, what's shown on my screen right now is 100%, which means
Okay.
if the print scale, I would say is small. It's on the small side, and if the requirement says 1/8 and you are at one, no, I didn't catch the exact number. If it's 3 times, I would say it's probably about right. No, can you try it? Can you try it and bring it to us, either me or Nat? We will be able to give you a more definitive answer of whether or not that size is actually, the best one that we will aim for.
Okay. Yeah,
Right now,
I'll make up
definitely
some documents here.
yeah, they're small. It will be hard for us to read, and especially in terms of hierarchy, you would want a hierarchy. No, right now the ADA and the FFEs are the largest ones, and we would want the contour number to be bigger as well. The slope arrows can be the same as your spot, but most of them, you can see most of the labels right now are at the same level, and we would try to, I personally would prefer a bigger contour number label. So it's very easy for me to see. I don't even have to zoom to 100% to see if your contours are correct in the first place. Okay.
How do you like then balance that? If you make the text bigger, then like for like the bioretention areas, you're gonna I feel like you're gonna have to use like, a lot of like leaders or something because it's just gonna be like so like clustered because of like all of the like text. How do you like balance that, I guess, if you try to make the text bigger?
So it wouldn't be cluttered to the point where you wouldn't be able to fit them in, because we haven't had a situation where a really skillful organization of the labels didn't
Like,
work out.
well, like right here,
Yeah.
like if you made that text like even larger than it is, like you're not gonna be able to fit it in there. You're going to be using like a lot of leader lines or something to actually be able to fit it in there
Yeah,
or
that's
to
probably yeah, that's something that you'll need to do, because you have space just right around to the north side of it,
okay,
right? So you would
okay.
prioritize the contour label
Mhm.
in the cell itself, and then other labels will have to be kind of incorporated around that bioretention.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the
So if
leader line
it's
will
a
come
like a
with you,
text
right?
because like I think mine's similar.
Yeah.
So like if it's like a size like the default I think is like one size like a 1.0 whatever. So like increasing it to like two or something to make it more big. I guess would that be like a reasonable size or like or how much bigger does it need to be
I would,
to?
exactly how you set it up would need to be advised in the cat room. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay, okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah, that
Again,
is
there are
a good
multiple
question.
ways. There are multiple ways to manipulate the size of the text, and the TAs will have the best practices.
Yeah.
So we just want you to get the best advice by frequent users instead of us, which are dinosaur users. Okay, cool. This wall is a known issue. I have schedules. Okay,
I fixed it with Stuart last night,
okay,
sending email and PDFs back and forth.
that's good to know. Well, it's an interesting design. I wonder. Okay, I wonder if you actually remove the wall or design around the wall.
Yeah, if the wall gets removed, it doesn't fit at all.
Oh,
Um, the yeah,
okay. You have this. You're probably one of the ones that Stuart mentioned, ready to submit. Well, what else I can help with? I feel like I'm not contributing much here.
um, I I got a comment, or I'll have to. I sent Jess an email or a message last night, so I'm waiting on that. So never mind on that. But the ramp, if you could try to check that out. I think for the most part, I need to rework how the contours go across it.
Hmm.
Right now, I was working with fixed TR and BRs, top ramp, bottom ramp. So I think I can improve the drainage off of the ramp. Um, I think that's where I'm at with that. But if you want to take a gander at that, that would be cool.
Yeah. The contours right now is perpendicular to the wall. I would still angle that a bit more,
Sure.
and the drainage of the ramp. I don't see an issue there. I think it's pretty straightforward. Not sure what the 7% max means. So because you want to make it 7%, so you included the okay, the BR and TR, the so this one is 1102, 111.9, and it's all draining down this pool. Yeah, you need a few more. You would need a few more spots, depending on whether or not these ones are actually in the. Oh, why is the annotate not working? Okay, showing up now. So that one seems to be at a tangent point. Those are, you would need one more there at quotes. And you're going down 106, and then okay, this works. Yeah, it's from as far as I can see is working, and I'm not sure why the TR and BR is back. Oh, okay.
I put a little flat spot. I remembered briefly from grading that you need a break in ramps, and I didn't quite remember how far it was, so I just threw them in because I could.
So every 30 feet, you will try to incorporate that.
Cool.
Okay. Okay. This portion, BR being 7.4. Well, so the entire portion here is designed designed this way.
Correct.
Okay.
It goes with the back plaza.
Yeah, that's okay. All right. Okay, we still have some things that we haven't done yet. The retention here.
I guess while we're there, what's the best way to connect from the roof down to it? Just like with a trench drain, or?
You would have a downspout, and then you can have trench drain on the ground, leading water to those cells.
Do we have to mark the downspout in any way?
You don't have to do that, but you need to mark the trench drain though.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, not being helpful, but I'm happy to see this. Okay.
Yeah. I'll mess around with the text, see what I can't do, talk to the TAs about it, and yeah, we'll see.
Sounds good. One more thing. We're lacking some ramps over here, right? There.
Yeah.
And ramp over there.
Do we need a ramp over there? Stuart seemed to hint that we didn't, and it's not in the requirements for the assignment. I guess it wouldn't be bad to throw in there anyway.
If you have one of that ADA here, I guess it's okay. But for me, I would put in one of them there too, because everybody sort of need a ramp at some point, right?
Sure.
If I have a stroller, I would prefer to have a ramp there.
Sure.
Okay.
Doesn't hurt to throw. Yeah, and if you could check on the email that I sent you on Monday, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, I just thought that one of us got back to you, but maybe I'm definitely wrong, and I will.
No worries.
With them. Okay.
Thank you.
Julia.
Hi, I'm here.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Okay. Max slope for the raised ramp on road. Max slope. Yeah, you would use that 8%, 8.33% as a guideline. Yeah, you had it here. Okay. And then here, is this too big? Should it have separations? I'm not sure what we...
Like I have a ramp there. I didn't know if there was a certain width it was allowed to be or not.
Can you repeat that one?
The how wide it can be. Like, is there a max length of a ramp? Because mine's currently very wide.
Do you mean this width?
Yes.
No, there's no limit, and I think it should have a pretty wide ramp there because no, that is for the bus, and you would want people to well, I would consider that one as being too wide for that design. Yeah. This ramp, I think the connection being at this kind of I go in and then I turn 90 degrees and no, that's not, I think attaching the ramp to this corner of the building signals that this is not a really visible or something to be highlighted as an ADA access. I would put it somewhere very visible and a better, smoother connection to the plaza instead of saying I need to go in here and then I found okay there's a ramp and then I turn 90 degrees to get in. Okay, so I would do something like that instead, and there might be even a signage somewhere so that people from really far away would be able to see okay there is an ADA access there. Otherwise this won't get used that much, so you give it a much more spacious and visible and more important entrance. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. That one now. Yeah, I think we covered the ramp thing, and divergence swell still needs more work. That's okay. This is the BRTR where you have five. If you have a 5% slope for the ramp, you don't necessarily have to build in those landings. But if you would like to, if you think that contributes to a better experience, that's no problem. You can feel free to do that. I just want
We don't need landings if we have 5%, a 5%.
if you have a 5% slope, you do not need a landing.
Huh.
If
So
you
don't.
exceed 5%, then
Oh, okay. If you
you need
exceed it, okay.
landings. If you
Okay.
exceed 5%, then you need landings. Okay. All right. So for I don't think you need such a elongated swell on the other side. And I'm seeing the swell causing issues is actually, for instance, at the end of this, you're actually having water going that way, which what I would do is actually to extend that wall and then doing this. But because we don't necessarily need that swell to go all this way, for instance, if I have this contour, I may just do something like this and connect back. And then the second one, I would basically do something like that and connect back there. So all those swell, you could design, for instance, this is one big one, for that to be the end of the swell, right? And then all the others you could try to aim for sheet flow from that point on. So this is 1103, and the 1103, yeah, 1103 is over here. Yeah, you can see that you can actually, it's easy for you to do this with your design of the ramp. You see that?
I do.
Yeah, cool, good. Yeah, that means that needs to be extended, which is fine. Check the bottom FFA just to make sure this the 1096 is the last one. 1098. Okay, 7 could be here, 6 could be here. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so it would be like that. And the 1096, yeah, do need to attach the wall. So we could do something like that. Okay.
For the wall part, is the rule of a 4-foot max still enrolled?
Yeah, that one, we're not asking everybody to design steps of the walls. Yes, the as long as what we see as the TW, the difference between TW and BW does not exceed 4 feet, then you wouldn't be docked any points. And we are not expecting everybody to do the stepped wall, as that's my understanding. But I will definitely confirm that with Stuart this afternoon. So right now, so for now, do the T wall and B wall for the upper side and the lower side. Okay, don't worry yet to design the stepped wall.
So how would with my ramp going through, how do I create the connection of those? Because those two that I brought across my ramp at the bottom have.
Yeah, you would have a you would kind of do this. Your wall is going down, and your plaza is also going down. Your wall needs to be like this, and then your ramp needs to get in there, right? So you could cut a door or an opening in the wall, or you could have this become one wall and that becomes another wall. So either way would be fine. So this can be two segments of walls, or they can be connected on the top. So this is an entrance, an opening, cutting through that wall. Does that make sense?
It does, but then the issue is my wall would be like 3 foot tall
3 foot tall
for the opening of it, because I can't exceed 4 foot.
And I'm not quite getting the issue that's caused by that.
Like how you said put a hole, an entrance, like a doorway through the wall.
Yeah.
It would have to be like 6-7 foot tall, and that would exceed the 4 foot rule.
Okay, let's take a close look at that. Trying to clear that. All right. So let's zoom into that area. So your BR is 1096.97, and I'm not sure I agree with that. Well, yes, you would have different heights of the wall, right? So yes, the TW here would be 1102, not to exceed 4 feet. And it doesn't mean that you have to have TW at 1102 at the exact same height as as this area. So if your B wall here is 1096.97, then you can determine the T wall here based on the height that you want to design it for. Does that make sense? So your wall would be, your wall could take different form. That one could be 1102, and well, yeah, honestly, this is that 1098B wall there, and you have this at 1097.07, and this could become 10101 if you want to design it as kind of approximately 4 feet high or 3 feet high. What I'm trying to say for now, do not worry about if I design it this way or if I design it that way. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay. So specify T wall and B wall, definitely. But this is, for now, oh, my understanding is that we don't require this for the final project. The reason that I'm mentioning, whether we require or not, sometimes they can change from year to year. We adjust small requirements of these things based on the progress of the class. So that's why it could change from year to year, and we will get a firm answer to you. And I'll make a note that I'll discuss this with Stuart, and so that you are all pretty clear about what our expectations about the walls are. Okay. All right. Anything else?
I think I'm good.
Cool. Alrighty. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you.
And I have Stephanie.
Hello.
Hey, Stephanie.
Good morning.
How are you?
Okay. How are you?
Oh, good, good. Okay. Are the contour of the ramp connected to the correctly? I would say the design of the ramp is not yet ideal because, if you are on a ramp and you see the plaza, I would bet that at least my kid, when they're here, they saw something, that's where they go,
Mm,
right? So you would want to try to avoid going down and then going back to the plaza. So again, you would try to get some space in this area and then you connect. If I see that one and I see this opening of the plaza, I know that's there, then I go directly to my plaza.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
At least I'm not doing this to go to my plaza. But I guarantee you, the kids will definitely try to take the shortcut, or
Just putting like,
or even
yeah.
ride his bicycle,
Mm-hmm.
across the steep slope to just have the fun of it. Um, so that's that. In terms of the contours,
Just real quick about the design.
mhm.
I was thinking about putting a feature in the middle, but it's like this is a grading plan, so I'm not sure like how it's not like a design plan. Then I also put like a retaining wall, like made to have like seating around the side to make it more of a feature.
uh, you'd have to
So
repeat.
that
I got a little cut off just now.
oh sorry. The first thing I was thinking about like putting a design feature, like I remember like Stuart mentioning like a lot of like make the ramp a feature so that people
Hmm.
will take the long way. So maybe a feature like a shop or like something in the middle of that. Or if not, like I put a retaining wall towards the back end of the circle to have like more of a feature or like a seating kind of area so that people are more like drawn to like go around, I guess.
Sure. Well, there are multiple ways of doing that, right? You have seen a few examples from your peers where they have a turning. Well, once they get to here, for instance, this portion is enlarged, where
Mm-hmm.
people coming from that one could, they could choose to go directly down, or they could choose to stay there for a little bit. not necessarily seating. I would say a seating area would probably be more appropriate closer to this area if you enlarge that one. Now that's a bad design, but if you say I have a seating area somewhere here looking over a garden of some sort, then you could also do that in the beginning.
Mm,
Just really close to the garden would actually be pretty cool. Then you would have your swell center line going and your garden underneath, and that one, the sitting
mhm.
probably having a little bit of an intersection, a little look out, some uh, kind of fence type of, not fence, um, what's that called? Railing or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, close to the garden where they can look out. I think both of these are pretty good locations for making a feature. I wouldn't
Mm,
necessarily do something lower. One thing is that the drainage here is a little more complicated as if you create a little swale here, which I don't recommend doing, which we can
okay.
actually get away with. Um, if you drag the ramp a little bit away from your building, most likely you would be able to do sort of this situation. So you wouldn't create a small swale
Okay.
close to your wall, right? And
Yeah.
also because there is a public space there, so you would want to distinguish the character, and the sitting or the resting place would be fitting the nature of the ramp. So it's not going to be a big gathering space. Is for people to temporarily just stay a little bit longer, having
Mhm.
something to see, have serve as a lookout area, something like that.
Okay.
So that's about the ramp. Okay. Basically, you calculate the ramp spots based on your ramp contour. All right. If you have a ramp design that is like this, and that's your contour, and you don't need any spots in along the straight segments, but if you have curved ones, then again you would base that on your contour direction,
Mhm.
right? And then whatever that is would be based on this. So calculating spots, the best start point is always your contour.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Oh, center swale across the plaza drop-off slope is less than 2, which is totally fine because you have a slope
Okay.
that is 2%.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
okay. Yeah, anything else that you would like a review about?
Actually, the PDF that I got back with marks on it, not from the TAs, I think it's from Stuart. I'm kind of confused on one.
Okay. Yeah, that markup it's from the steward. Yeah,
Yeah. Can I share my screen for it?
go ahead.
Is that,
Yeah,
can you see that?
it's showing.
Okay. I think it's just this here. This goes into, like, I see the curb cut, but I have my plaza going out here, and then the ramp would like start here,
Okay.
and the retention area, I don't know if if I move that down under the plaza, is that an issue, or like should I cut in?
Down. I think the original confusion come from where he wasn't sure where your pavement stops.
Mm, I
Yeah,
think,
honestly, well, I'm actually going to suggest that you change your pavement instead, because this angle, that pavement would not get used anyway.
mm,
It's better actually if you start your pavement right here
up here.
connecting to your wall here, right?
Okay, okay. Yeah.
And then you have your ramp starting somewhere there. Then
Yeah.
you avoid for people to step on this area, which it could be a low area, could have ponding water. If anything, it's clogged, right? So
Mhm.
you won't you'll try to avoid for people to be standing on anywhere that is low lying that could have a potential for being flooded during
Yeah.
a clogging issue or during a big event. So it's better that you start your pavement past that point, and
Okay.
basically then you have a direct connection to your retention.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Alrighty.
And
And the other
I
thing
think.
is I would try to can you go back to your
Oh
screen?
yes. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a little ambiguous how your swell center line intersect with this.
The trench drain.
The one the bottom it's
Oh.
yeah.
Here.
So you would want to make it clear that my center line does not intersect there. I want to try to just make that center line
Yeah.
kind of move that away from
The
we
drawing.
yeah,
Okay.
basically ambiguity, sorry,
Mm.
ambiguity there could cause problems, could lead us to think, oh, whether or not I need another cut because part of the swell is located in your drop off area.
Mm.
If that's hard to do, you can actually change the direction of this contour so that you would have no, not too close to a building, but just the right amount so that I know it's clear that the center line does not
Mm.
intersect with my drop-off area and is also not too close to my building.
Okay. That sounds good. I think there's one more thing on the newer PDF.
Okay.
If I can switch back, sorry.
Yeah, sure. You want me to?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this one. Go ahead.
Can you share screen?
Oh, what was I thinking?
It's okay. I think I just want to check the placement of the ramps or if I need another ramp on the other drop off as well. I understand now, like in the earlier reviews, you explained how to like calculate the TRBR and slope. So I will like revise that, but it's made the placement.
Yeah, you have a minimum of 2, so that
Oh,
fulfills the requirement. But I would go ahead and put one more here as I
okay.
explained to David,
Yeah.
because everybody would need ramp at some point, and it's just better to have it available to other people so that they don't have to look for a ramp and kind of walk far away to find a ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also this. Oh, okay. You are some of the lines here. So there's a crossing. Well, you may put some painting here just to signal that there's a pedestrian crossing there.
Mm.
Okay, and this would be, never mind, it's okay. Yeah. All right.
Also, maybe the stairs. Are the stairs okay with where they are, or like never landing, the spots and everything?
So you have your TS, and I'm not sure your TS is correct. It's probably not.
Mm.
It's not. It should be between 8 and 9, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Between 8 and 9, and also it should not be flush. The first one should not be flush with the wall here because you want people to can put one foot as they prepare if I hold on, if my hand is holding
Mm.
on this wall or a rail or something, I won't be able to put 1 feet over there. So you don't want them to be flush. The same thing here. I want to be able to put at least 1 foot, kind of as I approach the corner and then go up the stairs. So that's that. So TS
Would
was
that
not right.
to 8 like 50? 8.5, I mean.
Well, you would design for this to be 2%. You can't do too
Uh-oh.
steep. Yes, that could not be too steep. It would be
Mm.
based on the contour there, but your contour, I agree, your contour actually can turn like this,
Mm. Okay.
so that you can have this gentle surface there. You would still be calculating the spot based on a 2% slope from your 109 contour. And what else? And then the bottom BS seems good. Yeah, that's good. Your B wall, it's probably off. It should be whatever the elevation is on that plaza,
Okay.
on this patio. And you have typical risers. You also need that. Okay, you do need those TS and BSs for each flight. So you have 5 risers, 6 treads, 4 of them, 20 steps in total. Yeah, that the number looks correct.
Writing the typical stairs, is that not, or the TYP is,
Yes.
doesn't that,
Yeah.
is for like each one is the same kind of thing?
Yeah, you don't have to repeat that one.
But you still need TS, BS under each one.
Yeah, but you do need to have TS and BS for each flight.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we're missing a B wall elevation, and we're missing a T wall elevation here. Okay, so B wall, T wall, both needs to be there. Yeah. And I am having suspicion your wall is actually not long enough. Okay, so that's 99.5, that's 99, and this is your 0, so then the wall needs to be there. Because that's 0, that's 99, oh, actually longer. 98 is the one that you return to original contour. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
99 is over here. Your
Mm-hmm.
99 is over there. So these two needs to be separated by that one, 99, 99, oh, not that one, 99, and then 98.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the wall there. So based on that, you can actually do this. You don't have to create that little swale here.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. I think that's it for now.
Cool. So I would say your drawing does need a bit of work. Again, be
Yeah.
blunt, right? Because it's actually helpful to be blunt right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hurry up. I know studio is very demanding. But the good thing is studio actually no, the presentation actually ends earlier than wow. It's hard to balance these two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably do 60%, 40% division of your prime time between your two projects. Yeah, but I would not put this off. I would try to dedicate a decent amount of time to get this into a better shape.
Okay.
Okay. Well, again,
Yeah.
I don't want to discourage you. I know you're trying your best, but I want to be blunt and I want to be direct about my expectations.
Yeah. Thank you. It's pretty clear how to move forward though. But thanks.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Stephanie.
Yep.
Alrighty, we will give me 5 minutes. I'll take a little break and I will be back to answer any further questions that you have.
Okay, so I measured, I extended this 108 and then went perpendicular to find this this point. And then I did this subtracted by this, divided by that distance times 100
Yeah.
to get that. That's correct, right?
Well, if you zoom out, so I can estimate the rough distance between your 1107 and 78. Yeah, it does seem to me that they are correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And then so I just had another question about like, so for this point, like, but I just, because like if I extend this line and go like it's not, I like if it's 10, I don't know if it's if this makes sense, like what if it's just 107 or like,
If you zoom back out,
so yeah,
that
that's
contour,
107 and
yeah,
then
so that contour is in the parking lot. You should use the contour that it's on top of the plaza. It's on the plaza. Okay. So you are
wait,
right.
which one?
You're actually right. That is 1107.49 because if there's no curb, then it's 1107.5, right? And then it's very close to 1107.5. So you had that one correct.
Okay.
Yeah, basically the principle is to calculate based on the plaza contour. And if the imaginary contour on the plaza on at that location is 1107.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, okay. And then, okay, I guess I just have to make sure because I had to change this. This was originally 5 feet, but then I moved it to 7 because this one originally was like 9%. So I had to move it. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was like understanding and doing that right. Okay. So that was my only question.
Okay, cool. So basically the easiest way for you all is to do a slanted wall. Basically you don't have steps, right? The top of the wall will be following the slope of the overall slope of the stairs. That's the easiest solution. If you want to design a stepped wall, you would have you would need to include correct representation of the stepped wall, meaning every section of the wall would need B wall and T wall. If you want to design a wall that is over 4 feet, you would need to put a note clarifying that this is an engineered wall and have a justification for that. Not many will have. I would not expect most of you to need an engineered wall, but if you have a good enough reason, that's okay.
Ding dong, ding dong.
Hey.
We have students that want to get into the CAD breakout room, and your host.
Oh. Okay. Let me assign
Everybody.
to the CAD.
And I'm going to.
You don't have to enter once you. Yeah, well, it asked me to move. But yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. Anybody else? Any particular students, I mean.
Devin wants to.
Okay. That is done. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for popping in. You scared me.
It's always a pleasure. See you soon.
See ya.
So for that wall you were just talking about, what did you mean by slanted?
Meaning that your wall is like, oh, I need to get this out of the screen. So that is your top of the wall. This is your bottom of the wall. That makes sense? That's the slanted one. The stepped one is this.
So we just, with the slanted one, you're just saying that it doesn't need as much spout elevations.
Yes,
Or-
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
Professor,
Go ahead, boss.
can I share my screen? I have some questions about my my design.
So you are in group 1, right?
Yeah, I got confused. So my review was last Tuesday.
Okay, let's hear your questions. But basically, Stuart is done with her. He's group 2 as well, so he's available to talk to you as well. If you would rather.
Oh yeah. No, I don't mind anyone, but when I was at his room and I got into your room, he wasn't done. That's why I came to this room.
Okay, that's no problem. Share your screen and we can help.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm still not done like with everything, obviously, but I just wanted feedback on my divergent swale. Like, is it fine in terms of having space for these bioretention areas that I'm gonna grade this weekend or today? And
So in terms of the shape of the contours, it is fine. No, I'm not sure about the lower connection though. I'm not entirely sure about this portion because you want to try to direct water away. So basically you're aiming for the clean water goes this way. So you can do that by tightening up these contours. And
yeah, I felt like this was a weird contour.
Yeah, the dirty water comes out here, and it will need somewhere to go. Yeah, you need a retention area here. That's correct. So so that's the shape of this contour needs to follow the center line of the divergent swell. Honestly, your bioretention doesn't really collect a lot of water because your contour it's like that, and your water, the area that you're able to collect is just that much, not even that much. And I'm trying to no let me just use a line instead of an arrow so that I can go perpendicular. So this is how much water you're trying to collect with all the 3 retention areas. Oh yeah, it actually changes direction once you get to here. But that's basically it's this much. So you include them by all means, but I just want to make it clear that they are not collecting a lot of water. The majority of the water is actually coming out of here, and you need to find a way to connect that curve, that lowest point, to.
Yeah, I was gonna have a trench drain to this one. This is gonna be like a big area.
Yeah, I can understand, but that's basically my feedback with regard to that area.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then I have a few. Can I clear?
Yeah, sure.
But by the way, this was like this is a ramp, not a bioretention area.
A ramp. Okay, that's a ramp.
Is it fine if I put a trench drain into this bioretention area and that will solve this area, or?
Well, my overall feedback for that area is actually you have too much going on in that area. So for me, I would not let my center line fall into my drop off and then come out of the curb. I would put my center line out of my drop off area, so I don't need to deal with concentration of water and cutting holes 2 times. You know what I'm trying to say? So right now your center
Yep.
line is overlapping in that area. So basically you have water flow concentrating, you have concentrated flow along the curb, and then you have the lowest point along here, meaning that you need to cut two holes. If they don't match with each other, they don't seem to. So you have two places that you need to cut holes to make it work. And I think is a better solution if you have your center line just away from, so basically not letting the plaza water draining into your parking lot and then have to come out.
Okay, makes sense. And by changing the position of my center line, what will happen to the water that's here? It's gonna go
You
which
still need to
direction?
cut a hole. You still need to cut a hole at the lowest point for that water to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But basically you won't have any water from the plaza draining into your parking lot and then needing to come out.
Okay, yeah, that's really helpful. Makes it makes sense logically.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty.
Took this. I'll show enough. I'm just gonna clear. Okay. Okay. So I had a bioretention area here, and then I moved my ADA from down there to there, and Stuart suggested having a sidewalk, and then a ramp here, and then I have a ramp here. Where would the water this way um go? Okay, I have a trench drain here.
The
Would
wall
I be able to fit?
out. The
Would I
wall
be able to fit?
come out here. You need a trench drain cutting through to get to this area. You still have that green connection. You're by adding that sidewalk, you're maintaining that connection by this.
Yeah. So where would I put? I have a DI here.
Yeah, the DI doesn't direct water into your green area. The DI direct water into a pipe.
Yeah.
So that's a curb cut and DI. That makes sense? So you
Yes.
don't want water to go, all the water to go into a DI. You want a curb cut with a trench drain that directs most of the water into the green area that I outlined with the blue, and any excessive water will then go into the DI, which is connected to a pipe.
Okay, sounds good. So if I just so my trench drain, let me change colors here. So where would it be directed? Because I don't have a bioretention area here. Would I need to add a bioretention area, or can I just direct it there?
In that case, okay, in that case, if you can zoom out, is there any other places that you can place? Yeah, this is all plaza. In that case,
Yeah, so like all the water from here, from this place, is going into this bioretention area, and then the water like from maybe here is going into this trench drain. I'm stuck on this area. Like I was gonna put a bioretention area here, or have a trench drain maybe go into here, and then the rest of the water can go to this bioretention area. But I don't know if that works or not.
so why do we need pavement all the way there? Let's say, let's put
Where?
so if you cut if this is your pavement, then you should still be able to direct water from here, trench drain to there. Why do I need to pave all this? you can still have even with this, you can still have all this to be your drop-off area. I don't see a reason for this to be paved.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So I can have but then the trench drain is gonna direct water to which bioretention area? That's what confused me. So if the trench drain is here, oh, yeah. Wouldn't water go into like here?
No, you have a curb. You have a curb here.
Yeah, true. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, you have a curb.
And then and when I do that, so that makes sense with the trench drain. I'm gonna try it out on CAD. Would I have a bioretention area here, or can I just like say that it's going into the vegetated area?
You need to design that out as a bioretention, having spots and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it too small or is it fine?
I'm sorry?
Would it be too small or?
It's connected, right? You can keep excavating. The bottom of this, these can be connected. That can be deep. That can be dug deeper.
So this can be like one area?
So
Kind of, yeah.
yeah, if I clear all this, if you have a connection here, then you are only dealing with a smaller area. Well, it's not too small, but it's still that much area that goes into the last cell, right? So basically aiming for 12%, 1/12 of this area. If that is big enough, then you're okay, which seems like you have enough space. So that connection treat other places. So there's a one cell, another cell, even I don't know. Yeah, this could be another cell too for that area. So you divide this into multiple cells, and the last one is only treating this portion. No, just make sure you have enough space to treat that area, then you're okay. If not, I can extend a little bit here, right? I could do that as well. So that's fine.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I was just I need to try it out.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I took a screenshot. Thank you. One more question. I was still working on my stairs and ramps and my bioretention areas. I'm not sure. Like at the end of the day, like how many would I need to have? So I was just like I just drew circles, but yeah, never mind. I don't have a question about that. I feel like I covered most areas, and then I need to grade that and then come with questions next Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, I would start with the most critical area where there's a dead end that I have to direct water out. On the side, you basically want to kind of revisit the exercise 3 where you divide the drainage area for your bioretention, just making sure all of my paved surfaces are accounted for already, right? There's no place that are generating runoff that have nowhere to go, and that's basically your goal. Make sure every area of the drainage, the impervious surface, has somewhere to drain to. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. And for the spot elevations, to be more accurate for this last submission, do we need to refine them by using the percentage and like
Yes.
and like that?
Needs to be calculated to 2 decimals, but I wouldn't do that just yet. I will make sure my contours are all correct, because if I make a mistake in my contours, every one of my spot related to that contour will be not correct, and then you need to recalculate everything, and that's a painful process. So
that's the next week problem.
before you calculate the spots, definitely need to make sure all the contours are correct. Now they are 50 feet apart, they're parallel, the dimensions are correct, and you calculate based on the contours. Okay, the parking lot, you use the parking lot contour. The plaza, you make sure you use the plaza contour instead of the parking lot contour. Otherwise, you will be half foot off. So that's something to just really pay attention to as you go through all the spots. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Alrighty.